Well, today on the channel we got huge news. I mean big news, maybe life or trail altering news for the Appalachian Trail. Plus we've got the usual of hikers reporting in about what's going on with their hike on the Appalachian Trail, how they're doing, what trail conditions are. Got a little bit of personal stuff about me, but let's go ahead, what you came here for, and that's about what's going on the Appalachian Trail. Let's go ahead and dive right in. So we have got Tortoise and Hare. They have made it to Newfound Gap. They took a 0 to be with some family. Unfortunately, they had some illness while they were out, not noro according to them. So that's good, even though I'm expecting noro to come in at any day now, since the bubble's pretty much in the Smokies, and that's when the norovirus really kind of starts in earnest. They did say, speaking of the Smokies, they had 30 people at Molly's Ridge Shelter when they went through on Monday night, and then 25 at Derrick Knob the next day. So that's a lot of folks out there in the shelter. And then they did say that Double Spring Gap was a little less busy, but they've enjoyed the group. They've and that group has motivated them to get up to Klingman's Dome for this amazing sunrise view that they sent in. I think there's a little bit of sarcasm there, but in any case, thanks for sending that in, Tortoise and Hare. Glad to see you are making great progress through the Smokies there, and keep on going. Fancy Pants and Gadget Girl, they check in from the Spence Field shelter there, and part of her family is with her with this trail update.
Hey Ramdino, this is Fancy Pants and Gadget Girl and Sarah, who doesn't normally check in with you, but anyways, we are hunkered down here at Spence Field shelter, is that right?
That's
or Spencer?
Correct.
And it is
fire.
Yeah, we have a fire. I'm going to turn the camera around just a second, but it's going to be really cold tonight. Trail conditions have been pretty good, but lots of uphills.
Yeah.
Lots of uphills.
Whoever
Anyway.
said the Smokies were like a ridge run, I don't know what they were talking about, because it's been far from a ridge run.
Okay, there you have it.
Yeah.
Tie-Dye, he has made it past the 600-mile mark, said he's going to be Neroing at the Weary Feet Hostel. That is awesome, 600 miles. So that's like 100 more than the 500-mile mark. So that is really awesome. Congratulations to you, Tie-Dye. And then Father Time, he's made it through the Smokies. He said it took him 7 days due to some weather and some gear malfunctions, but nevertheless, he made it through. He said there were quite a few blowdowns. He said maybe as much as 100. So we know there have been 70. I don't know if there's been 30 more that have showed up there or not since the other folks came through there, but it's in the same section of the park, the northern section after Newfound Gap. And here he sends in a picture of one, so that's huge. That's a huge hole there. And he did say that a ridge runner said there's a team of sawyers coming through that are scheduled to clear it out. That was this week, so hopefully they made it through there and got all that out of there. He says he's feeling great with no injuries to report, so that's awesome to be all the way to the Smokies and not have any kind of injuries. Moose Liver and her family, they have now become the Golden Girls. And they said they had sleet and icy fog, and here's a shot of Moose Liver up at Beauty Spot there, so that looks pretty dang cold. Alpha Gal, he had to get off trail for about 5 days. His mother-in-law, looks like it says his wife, Gray, Jay's wife, passed away. So very sorry. Our sympathies goes out to her and you, Alpha Gal. But did hear back from him, and he's back on trail at the quarterway in, and he is heading out today, getting back on trail. So very sorry for that, but glad to hear that you're back out on trail now. Rev, he started from Springer on April 2nd and said he walked into a fog and then the bottom opened up. So he took a break, got off trail, and now he's got back on there. I believe he said he got back on, I can't remember the name of the gap there, Unicoi Gap. Got back on at Unicoi Gap, and he has made it to North Carolina. So congratulations, Rev. Riley and Van Gogh, they have made it to Erwin. They again say the northern part of the Smokies there from Newfound Gap had a lot of blowdowns, but they were navigable and they were able to walk around them or get up and over. They coming in there at Spivey Gap there before Erwin, they said it looked like a lumber yard with all the down trees, and and more importantly, it was amazing to see all the work that had been done by the trail maintainers to get the trail punched through and get it open out there. So he thanked everybody out there for that. Glam Girl and Hunger Pain was formerly Aquaman. They check in with their update.
Hey Ramdino, I was Aquaman, I'm now Hunger Pain.
Glam Girl.
Figured we'd give you an update. We're at mile 633 heading into Harrisburg. But trail's been really good. We didn't do the detour at Iron Mountain Gap. We went straight through and it was really pretty decent. We're pretty happy with that. And you want to tell them about Blonde Mountain?
We were the first ones through it. We came upon Saws
And
working
Rebecca,
on it,
we met Rebecca.
and 3 other guys, and yeah, we were able to go right through the AT. They opened it back up, and it was wonderful. And we're very thankful for all the volunteers. And the trails have been great. It's amazing what has been done for recovery.
Yeah, so anyone coming from Springer Mountain or Amicalola, you're going to be in great shape. So we're excited.
Glad to say that they're doing good. Glam Girl looks like she is coming to her own there, and she is just looking like a true through hiker there. So that's awesome. And then I got a slight mea culpa from last week. So last week I indicated that Chill Guy was the son of Scoutmaster. That is not the case. He is not in any way a blood relation that I'm aware of to Scoutmaster. So he is a former scout in his troop, and so he is hiking with through hike with Scoutmaster. So wanted to apologize for that, but I'm sure, like all Scoutmasters, he treats all of his scouts like his own son. So he's out there hiking with him. Of course, probably minus the college tuition and the car insurance, I would imagine. So, but anyway, good to see they're doing well out there, and sorry about that. Moondog says his hiking partner, Two Speed, decided he had gotten everything he needed to get out of the trail, and so he got off after Hot Springs, or got off in Hot Springs, decided to call it. And so Moondog will be continuing on, and he has made it to Erwin, and he's continuing north. Mementos should have crossed over into North Carolina by now. Lieutenant Hikes, he made it to Boots Off, and he sends in this update.
Hey Ramdino, LT Hikes here. Currently at Boots Off Hostel. Yeah, we crossed the river on the Wahoo raft the other day. Just want to give a big shout out, big thank you to them. They do a great job, and it provides some income for them because they're unable to run rafting services this year. So if you can afford it, I would ask other hikers to tip your raft operator. Hope everyone stays safe out there. Thanks, Ramdino.
He also indicated that his sister, who was hiking with he and his wife, she decided that Hot Springs was as far as she needed to go, and her hike was complete. And so she got off, and so he and his wife, Sarah, they're continuing north. So that's awesome. I don't know why I'm getting so tongue-tied today, but anyway, appreciate it. Freelance, she reports in that the weather can be fierce and unpredictable in the mountains, and she is in the Great Smokies. She said she recently had a high wind event there in the Smokies, and the elevations made it pretty chilly. She said as a result, a lot of hikers were hunkered down in shelters during that when at the height of the windstorm and the rain. They got a lot of rain up there that came through, but she indicated she thought the rest of the week was going to be fantastic. She started the Smokies at Newfound Gap and hiked south, and then she's going to come back at Newfound Gap and hike north. So Newfound Gap is right up there at Wallalassie, I think is the name. It used to be Clingman's Dome, but now it's been the former name, or the original name, there's a Cherokee name, is been renamed back to that. The name has been changed back to that. So she started there at Newfound Gap, which is just a few miles north of Clingman's Dome. And Clingman Dome is a high point. So that means she hiked downhill both ways in the Smokies. So is that hike your own hike? Is that cheating? Is that the smart thing to do? I'm going to go for 2 out of 3 and say hike your own hike, and that's a smart thing to do. When I did the Smokies, that's probably what I should have done. But in any case, that is awesome. She sends us in this update.
Hi, Dino. This is Freelance here at Klingman's Dome. Just want to tell you there's 70 miles per hour winds coming in. Not laughing because it is a little scary. So, yeah, we still got the shoulder season here. Take care, everybody. Hike on. A little bit of blowdowns on Smoky Mountain trails, but nothing too dramatic yet. And, yep, hike on. Hello, Sacramento. Bye-bye.
What a trooper she was to stand out there in the driving rain and the driving wind and to send us an update. That is awesome. Thank you so much, Freelance. Looking forward to seeing how the other side of the Smokies go for you. Papa Grizzly and KC, they have made it past the pre-shelter, and they send in this update.
Hey, Ramdino, it's Papa here, and I'm here with Cam, who finally has a trail name, and it is...
Killer Cam,
Killer-
Casey.
KC. She's 2/3 of our group. Grizzly, who got his name last week from Neville at Woods Hole Hostel.
Yeah.
We're here at the priest shelter about to write down our confessions, and I'll make one confession to you right now.
Ooh.
Don't judge, but we are slack packing today. Reason being is we have an opportunity not to be out in the freezing cold tonight. With slack pack, we're going to attempt, we can't attempt, we have to do this. We're going to do 25 miles.
Yeah, we're going to do
We're
it.
doing 20. We have 5 miles to go, and we still have plenty of time.
Yeah.
So we're looking forward to getting to the Shenies in 2 days. And Ramdino, thank you so much for all you do, and we appreciate it. And peace out.
No confession necessary for slack packing. I'm a slack packer here. If you're a slack packer, leave a comment down below. Not a thing in the world with slack packing. It's amazing how much more I enjoy it when I'm not hiking with that 25 pounds on my back, when I've only got about 5 or less back there. Peg Leg and Punisher, they pushed a 43-mile day and then a 27-mile day to get to the Lookout Hostel. So and that's up in Pennsylvania, so they are booking it up there and doing a great job, and they checked in from Pennsylvania. Ron78, he said there is a high alert there at the George Washington Outer Bridge Shelter just before Palmerton. Said there is a warning sign there at the shelter that was dated March 25th. And then he got snowed on at the Brink Road, and so he had to seek refuge. It was really cold, so he got off trail there, followed a dirt road to the main road, and made it to Mosey's Place Hostel to wait out that storm. But Pennsylvania has been getting like creamed. So here's a Lookout Hostel. They sent me one of their outdoor cameras, and it's cold up there. And then, of course, Ron78, he sent in there from the Brink Road Shelter, and boy, they've really been getting it tough up there. And then Luscious, he has made it into Rocksylvania just in time for the snow. So hopefully the next week, this coming week, not going to be snow up there, and it'll dry up, and y'all will warm up, and y'all will have some great hiking weather. Boston and Straps, they have made it to Parisburg, and they send in this update.
Hey Ramdino, it's Boston and Straps. We're in Parisburg and Angel's Rest. It's been a cold, rainy couple of days, and we're glad for a nice warm shower. So we'll be hitting the trail again tomorrow. Everything other than that's been good.
That's right.
Thanks a lot. See you next week, hopefully with OG again.
And Wolfie hadn't checked in a while. Glad to see he's still out there. He checks in from the Rich Mountain Fire Tower that is just north of Hot Springs.
Hey, Rambino, Wolfie here. Just wanted to check in with you. I haven't done it for a while. Right now I'm at the Rich Mountain Fire Tower, enjoying the view. Hopefully by the time this video publishes, I'll be in Erwin. Talk to you later.
It's been so cold up there in Pennsylvania and north of there. I bet these folks would like a day at the beach. You know what else is like a day at the beach? Element drink mix. It's like a day at the beach. Help! Element drink mix. It'll help you get those electrolytes back in your system after a long day on the trail. The heat out here on the beach, especially one that ain't got a cliff on it. It's got 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 60 milligrams of magnesium. Everything that you need to get you back in the game, back performing at your top ability. And right now you can go to drinkelement.com/Ramdino and they'll give you a free sample pack with any order. And they got a lot of great flavors. That's drinkelement.com/Ramdino. Go and get you some. Sneak that one in on you, didn't I, folks? Anyway, let's go on with some folks that are, we still got folks that are sending in their intros. So this is our first hiker from the land down under. That's the worst Australian accent I think I could possibly do. But Dutchey from Australia should be on trail now, and he sends in this intro.
Hey Ramdino, Dutchey here from sunny Queensland, Australia. First of all, I'd like to thank you for all you do for the hiking community. On Friday, the 11th of April, I'll be flying into Atlanta, and the following Sunday, I'll be starting my Appalachian Trail from Amakalula State Park. I'm looking forward to all the trials and tribulations and the trail life. Bye for now.
Is that a Cockney accent or an Australian accent? I don't know. Worst one I've ever heard of. Probably the worst one you've ever heard of. But look forward to his updates. And then ADK, he sends in his intro.
Hey Ramdino, ADK Bill Hikes here from upstate New York, announcing my 2025 Appalachian Trail thru hike. I'll be going northbound starting at Springer Mountain on April 13th. You can find me on ADK Bill Hikes, Appalachian Trail. I'll see you guys on the trail. Thanks for now, and thanks for everything you do, Ramdino. Thank you.
And then off trail, I mentioned before, 2-Speed from the Moondog and 2-Speed family, Tramley, because I think they're cousins. He is off, so that is the only the person I know that were off trail this week. If you do get off trail, and particularly if you're updating us on a regular basis, be sure to let us know. We care about you. We want, when you're not updating, we want to know, you know, particularly on your own channels, we want to know, oh, what's happened? Has something happened to you? So just send us in, let us know. It doesn't matter if you finish the whole trail or not. Just the fact that you got out there and tried makes you a winner, and that is awesome. So don't ever think that stopping your hike, and I don't call it quitting, because you're not a quitter because you got out there. Just stopping your hike and ending it means you got all you needed to out of the trail, and that's really what matters in the end. Now, let's talk about who is starting on our support list this coming week. So we got David Barber, he's doing a flip-flop. We got Peter Bertolini, he's going to be doing NOBO Pure. Sonny Jim's going to be NOBO, he'll be doing the approach. Double Nickel will be doing the approach NOBO. And then we got Caterpillar, he'll be starting at Springer on the approach. So, as usual, less and less people are starting now from our support list, and that mirrors people that are starting. If you want to be on our support list, the way to put yourself on that list is down below, and you can send me in your updates either through Instagram or Facebook Messenger, or you can send them to me in an email. Some people have been having to send them to me in a Apple link or a cloud, Google, Android link. That's fine either way, but a lot of times they will actually go through on email. Some news we got out there. This is the huge, huge news. I'm going to lead off with this first. So, I don't know how to tell you this. I'm kind of choked up about it. So, Sandra Marra, who is the president CEO and been it for decades, is retiring. Woohoo! Woohoo! in the end of in January of 2026. So we're going to keep this positive. If you're a follower of me or watch this channel, you know in the past I've not had a great, let's say, great accolades for Sandra Marra, but we're going to keep it positive. Woohoo! I'm positive that the AT is going to be better for it. Still going to keep it positive though, so I'm glad she's looking forward to her retirement. I'm sure she is. My understanding is she's served the trail, so that's great. I'm hoping that the next person to come in the bylaws will change a little bit and will focus more on actually the hikers. Certainly the treadway, certainly the trail, but you know, heretofore, don't feel like over the past couple decades that the hikers have gotten a lot of care, shall we say. They just don't give a rat's rear end, it seems like, the ATC for the most part. And that's not everybody in the ATC. The ATC's filled with tons and tons of employees out there, a lot of employees that have been hired, that Sandra has hired and graciously given jobs in a positive manner to. Hopefully these folks will transition and everything's going to be, be changing and things are going to be looking up. But we're going to focus on a new day. A new day is dawning. Not going to wish our life away for January 26th to hurry up and get here. We're going to wish her the best as she gets the heck, if she goes to her retirement and goes out there and enjoys that, and looking forward to the next president and CEO coming in and making the Appalachian Trail Conservancy something that all us hikers out there can embrace. And maybe some of us will come back and become members again. I don't know about that, but I don't know. Miracles do happen. Let's keep on going now and get off that subject. So Marty, he's our Iron Mountain Gap hurricane devastation correspondent, and he has an interesting way of determining how many people are using the official gosh awful detour that has been set up, which is about 6 miles, versus going straight through the old, staying on the AT, going straight through and deviating just a little bit to get through the section where all the logs are blowed down and that has not been cleared yet. And that's by design. There's no point in clearing them because they are going to be having a timber salvage, and looks like it's going to happen in the next couple of weeks. So there's no point in salvaging all that timber and cutting it all up if they're going to come in and try to reclaim it. They did set up this gosh awful detour, and the contour levels on it, particularly toward the end of it, are terrible. However, I do understand that some trail angels up there, and they shall remain anonymous, they are going to fix some of that. They're going to reroute that, maybe through some areas to get it through a place where it's not such a 30-degree grade there at the end, not so dangerous in wet weather. And then also where it is dangerous in wet weather, they're going to be putting in some logs and steps. Not going to say who that is, but appreciate you. I know you watch the channel. Thank you, Trail Angels, for getting out there and taking care of that. Back to what Marty's saying about his trash can. So Marty's purchased with his own money a bear-proof trash can. And so he's been, in that bear-proof trash can is after where the detour, the official detour, deviates off of the AT. And so people go right by his trash can that don't use the official detour, and they use his trash can, right? Because anytime you can get a couple grams out of your pack makes all the difference in the world, right? So when he goes and checks his trash can every week, maybe a couple times a week, he determines by how much is in it, how many people are using that versus using the detour. And lots of people are using it because it's been full or almost full on numerous occasions while he's been checking it, even since the detour has been put in place. So folks up there sounds like by and large, most people are using the unofficial route to go through there, which used to be the official route, but is no longer the official route. I don't know, that gets complicated. But I will say this, when the heavy equipment starts getting in there, it's probably not going to be safe for folks to go through that way. So you may want to think about that if you get up there and you start hearing heavy equipment working in there on that timber salvage. And then Whispers, our northern correspondent, he sends along information about the whites in Maine and New Hampshire in general. He says it's still a melty, icy mess. They did get some snow here lately, but of course the temperatures are getting up, so they're bouncing back between melts and nasty snow and everything. He did say the snow is effectively gone there on the Connecticut-Massachusetts border. And last week I indicated that Baxter was closed, and I misspoke. It's the trail hunt system getting up to Katahdin is closed, so you can't get up to Katahdin right now, but Baxter State Park is definitely open. It's just Katahdin that's closed for hikers that want to go up and start their SOBO now. We don't have any NOBO Pure that's getting up there, and if you're a flip-flopper wanting to go up there, then it's closed right now. The two hikers that I mentioned over the past 2 weeks that are missing are still missing. They still haven't been found yet. If anybody hears of them being found, please let me know. But it's Michael Burnett. He was missing near the Shanties, and some of his friends felt like that he may be on the Appalachian Trail. And then Michael Small, he was missing from a facility there for I believe it's an Alzheimer's dementia facility there in Abington, Virginia. And they felt like he was on his way to go to Damascus, because he was definitely a hiker, definitely had hiked through that area, but they have not found him there yet. And then also big news, another big news, almost as big as Sandra retiring, is that the Pisgah National Forest has opened up in its entirety. Wasn't a lot of fanfare to that, but you would have thought there would have been a big announcement of that somewhere on the ATC, but they did indicate on their copycat of Bright Eyes and my spreadsheet that we put together. They copycatted that and they created one, so they did open everything up on that. So that is awesome. By all means, use that information there. If you copy somebody said that was the I can't remember what it is now, the surest sign of flattery or something. But anyway, fine with that. That is opened up all the way. So now the whole trail, with the exception of the detours there at Erwin around the washed out Chestoa Bridge, which now becomes a rafting trip. So that's awesome. And then also there at Iron Mountain Gap. And then I mentioned last week, I'm going to be hiking the end of April. If you want to come out and join me, I'll be starting on the Blue Ridge Parkway, just south of Rockfish Gap, and heading on into the Shanties. So just going for the long weekend, so probably do 35, 40-ish more miles through there. Looks like it may be some flat terrain. You know, Virginia's flat, right? So I will be doing that. And then I'll be doing an August Last up in Pennsylvania. A lot of you reached out to me. I had some questions on what would be the best place to fly into. So I'm going to be starting there at mile 1168 at Pennsylvania 325 Clarks Valley Road, and then hopefully finishing Rocksylvania. If I don't finish it, I'll get really close. So I'll be close to New Jersey. I figure Newark, but if somebody's got a better idea of how to fly out and then how to get back and forth from both those places, that would be awesome. A lot of you reached out, or several of you reached out and said you'd be willing to help me out with that. So thanks a lot. You guys are keen with that. I appreciate it. I've got to be looking about where to resupply and everything through there. So never hiked that section of Pennsylvania and never even looked at it. Didn't know if I would hike Rocksylvania, but I need to go ahead and finish it so I can connect where I've left off the trail there at Snickers Gap. And so I could connect that with going on into Maryland. So looking forward to doing that, and that's going to be August 14th. And then on a personal note, of course, those are personal notes, but on a really, really personal note, back in the fall of last year, a lot of y'all know that my mom fell and had a traumatic brain injury. And that traumatic brain injury still lingers now. And in fact has moved into a little stronger diagnosis of possibly some, well, I'm just not going to go with that complete diagnosis, but it is some mental cognitive issues, and most of you probably know what I'm talking about. And it may be a long, hard grind for us. I'm praying for complete healing, and I would appreciate your prayers, your good thoughts, whatever you can send for my family, and particularly for my mom. You know, this is the start of Holy Week, and He is risen. And if you know the return for that, you can leave a comment down below. But this is the start of Holy Week, when believers in Christ, celebrate up into the crucifixion and then the resurrection. And so during this week, I'm going to claim healing for my mom. I would appreciate you to do the same for that. Not going to get all preachy on this. Love to talk to you about that, but lots of people have different ways of dealing with stuff, and so not going to prognosticate to you that much. But please keep my mom in your prayers, or your good thoughts, or whatever good vibes you can send her. That would be awesome. And it's for me and my family as well. Folks, as always, that's all I've got this week, but I do appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks a lot, and I hope to see you out here.